So in this video, we're going to talk about your mindset and how to become powerful at approaching and meeting women and how to get your mindset right when doing it. Let's get into it now. So in this video, we're going to talk about positive thinking versus these clients, these guys I see that always say, well, I'm hard on myself because it makes me work harder. I'm hard on myself because it makes me perform more. And what the difference is and what really works to help you to grow as fast as possible. Now let's talk about positive thinking for a minute. I run into a lot of people who are consummate positive thinkers. They're like, let's use approaching, for example, approaching and meeting women. Like, I'm going to go out and meet women. And they visualize and picture themselves meeting women. They see themselves meeting women. They say everything's great all the time. They put this smile on their face, this attitude that if I smile enough and long enough, that it's eventually going to kick in and that's who I'm going to become. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be positive. Anything negative happens to them, they're like, no, I feel great. Even though inside they're pissed off. They're sad. They're hurt. A girl rejects them and suddenly they're like, oh, wow, okay, well, let's just do another one. And they keep charging forward at 100 miles per hour, telling themselves over and over and over again, everything is perfect. And that's that whole positive thinking mindset. Underneath the surface, there's something boiling. It's getting worse and it's growing because what you deny will grow. And if you've got a pain down there, or hurt, sadness, if you feel rejected all the time, that is going to grow. And just telling yourself everything is all right and putting a fake smile on, well, you're going to start to slowly become insane under the surface. Maybe not literally, but you're going to start to build up a lot of frustration and anger, and eventually you'll probably explode, or you'll just give up, or you'll quit. That's what I see a lot of. The other side of that coin, it's the guy who runs out there and he does one approach and then he beats himself up for 10 minutes. I wasn't good enough. I should have done better. And maybe something good did happen in the approach. He walks up and talks to a pretty girl and maybe she was nice to him but wasn't attracted to him. She had a boyfriend and then he's sitting there beating himself up because he couldn't get this girl with a boyfriend attracted to him and get her to the point where she wants to go out with him. I literally ran into this guy once. I went out with him one night. We went to a bar out here in Santa Monica and I watched him do one approach and he came back and was beating himself up. And he literally said to me after that, I said, what's going on, man? And why are you beating yourself up? You just talked to one girl, it's no big deal. And he goes, well, if I was as good as Mystery, he used Mystery as an example. If I was as good as Mystery, I'd be able to attract any girl in this bar. No girl would be able to reject me. And then he beat himself up some more. And I was like, such an unrealistic expectation. It's impossible to be that attractive. It's impossible to get every girl, and I don't care who says you can't do it. And second of all, if you're beating yourself up after every approach, after every attempt, after every time you try to talk to a woman, well, you're just going to end up getting worse and worse and worse because what you focus on expands and you're focusing on the negative. So on one side, we've got the guys who are denying their pain and they're causing it to expand by denying it because whatever you deny expands. And they're pretending everything's perfect, and under the surface, there's all this pain boiling up. Then on the other side, we've got these guys who are focusing on their pain, and what you focus on expands. So how do you win here? We're kind of stuck in the middle, right? How do you make this work? How do you get to the next level? Well, you've got to stop, denying what you're really feeling, but then you've also got to stop identifying with what you're feeling, and that's the key to growth. It's the identification with the pain, it's the identification with the problem that causes all the problem. So what is identification? Identification is the idea that the problem is you. You're like the blue sky, but these clouds roll in. Are you the clouds? No, but the clouds are like your emotions, your feelings, your hurt, your sadness. Maybe a storm rolls in. You're still not the storm. You're the blue sky on the other side. And so your ability to realize that you're not your emotions, that you're something greater than your emotions are just an experience, is the key to disidentification. If you believe that your sadness is you and means something about you, says you're good enough, you're not good enough, something like that, well, that's the fundamental problem. Because the more you believe that you are your emotions, that says something about you, the more likely you are to hold on to them and you're not going to ever let them go. Because you're going to be focusing on trying to fix yourself so much, and what you focus on again expands, that you're just going to see yourself as broken, not good enough. So even if you succeed at fixing one problem, you're just going to find another one. And in that is the crux of the problem. But when you start disidentifying, when you start separating from the emotion itself and seeing the emotion as an emotion and you as something else, the innate part of ourselves is more on the level of peace, happiness, joy, things like that. And everything else below that is just an experience. And I choose those higher experiences all the time. But I don't deny when there's clouds in the sky. I don't say, there's no clouds in the sky, I'm just the blue sky, I'm happy. And I don't sit there and focus on the clouds and say, I'm the clouds, it's horrible. I just let it all be. And then I slowly, and this took me years to do, is I slowly start working on letting go of the emotions. And that's the letting go process. A great book to get started with that is Letting Go by David Hawkins. And I start letting go of all those emotions. So positive thinking is important. You want to focus on where you're going always. Where am I going? What am I creating? I'm creating this confident personality. I'm building more courage in myself. I'm creating joy around approaching women, but not deny what's coming up while you're doing that. And then you start, every time you feel, like let's say I feel some sadness, some grief, you allow the sadness to be there, allow the grief to be there, but keep focusing on the idea at the same time that you're moving towards more courage, more love, more peace, more acceptance with your ability to approach women, with the joy of approaching women. And if you do that, if you can do that well, and you can hold that focus, even if it's only 1%, and that's all it takes, 1% focus, right? A little bit at a time, it will continue to expand because again, what you focus on expands. And as you focus on that little, let's say you're completely sad, you're really sad and you're feeling rejected and it's not working, but you can find that little spot inside yourself, that 1% spot that feels good, says, you know what, I got this. And I'm not gonna sit there and pretend I'm not feeling something I'm not, but I can find a part of me that feels courageous and feels confident, even if it's only 1%. Well, the more you focus on that, the more you sit in that energy, the more it will expand. And it will slowly start taking over all the sadness and moving it out of your system. So you start to feel more confident, more courageous. You'll start building more power because you won't be identified with that pain anymore. And that's the secret to growth. And that's the secret to moving to the next level. It only takes one spark to create a forest fire. And if you can identify that spark of courage inside yourself, and you can start focusing on it, letting it expand, without going into denial of the other energy, then, and just letting the other energy be there, but not putting your attention on it, then you will slowly start growing. So I want you to do a simple exercise. If you're in a room right now, look at the whole room. If that whole room represents the amount of negativity that you're feeling about your confidence with women, your ability to approach women, you can hold up one object. Imagine you just hold up one object in the air and you just look at that object. If you look at that object long enough and you study it, you get curious about it. You can find true curiosity inside your body. And you can inquire, what about this? What about that? You can find true appreciation for that object. The rest of the room seems to fade into the background. You don't have to deny it, it just kind of fades away. And this becomes bigger in your mind, whatever you're looking at. And that's the key to growth, becoming innately curious about the thing that you want to help you grow, becoming powerfully inquisitive, becoming appreciative. Those energies right there will grow that energy. And realizing that all the negativity is not you, it's just an experience. So in this video, I really wanted to just give you an understanding of what was going on with this. And in the next video, I'm going to give you more of an explanation of how to move yourself from one place to another. We're going to give you a little bit more technique. So make sure you tune into the next video. I hope you got a lot of information, a lot of value out of this video. So if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment below because I really want to hear what you think. And I really want to know what you want to learn as we continue to move this channel forward. We're going to keep growing it. We're going to keep giving you what you want. And as always, remember, only the confident really live. Letting go is a huge part of my life. I let go every day. Actually, I'm starting to call it allowing because it's really about allowing my body to do what it's built to do, to release, to let go of old emotions, and then allowing the positive, for lack of a better term, when you do it. Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this video, what causes that and how to get past it. Because it's a common problem. I had it myself. It felt really weird when introducing myself to new women. I would stand there awkwardly, look at them awkwardly, and I didn't understand what that was. And I'd try